4 years ago, Meta released the first all-in-one VR headset. And now we got a new competitor, the Apple Vision. And in this video, we're gonna make a side-by-side comparison. Motorcycle has to be driving by as soon as I start. But as I was saying, and now a new competitor joined, and that is Apple. Introducing the Apple Vision Pro. And in this video, yes, you clicked on the title, we are comparing the Quest's latest VR headset, the Quest 3, against the Apple Vision Pro. In case you're wondering, why are we comparing two almost totally different VR headsets against one another? Well, it's because we're human beings. We're curious. I do understand this is like comparing apple to oranges, but hear me out, as you're gonna find out some impressive things. Now, as always, a scientific scoring system will determine the winner between these two champs. Let's start off our scientific scoring system with build quality. And just like every Apple product, the Vision Pro isn't skipping any corners, as it's using high-end quality aluminum with real glass, and the bands themselves are actually extremely soft and very high premium feeling. Meanwhile, the Quest 3 continues using plastic, but not cheap plastic that will easily crack or just feels rough around the hands. More like vehicle interior type of plastic. It's durable, it doesn't feel cheap, it gets the job done. But Apple definitely does take this one. Comfort, a category many people, myself included, would like to hear. The Quest 3 out of the box comes with a mixed feeling head strap. Some people love it, some people hate it. Me, myself, I feel like it could be easily improved. So it's highly recommended picking up a third-party head strap. With that said, this does mean you can basically make the Quest 3 fit your head shape much comfortably, so you have more choices to choose from. But out of the box, Apple wins thanks to its solid build structure. The fascia is super soft, feels like a pillow, even though the headset itself is quite heavy, around 600 grams, comparing it against the Quest 3. And yes, the weight does balance mostly on front of your face. I still have to give the winner to Apple. After wearing it for several hours straight in one sit, I was actually more comfortable using the Vision Pro than the Quest 3. So Apple wins comfort. Ooh, it's starting not to look good for a Quest 3. Moving on to the IPD. I feel like this is a very powerful category, as it will allow more users to easily put on a VR headset for their specific need. The Quest 3 has an IPD slider that ranges between 53 all the way to 75 millimeters. The Apple Vision Pro can go down to 51 millimeters, all the way to 75. Apple wins this one. Now, FOV. This was quite challenging to find, as I was having a hard time finding it on Apple's website. Many reviewers were commenting about it, but we'll leave this part out. I talked to an Apple rep. He unfortunately didn't have this information, so Apple is hiding the FOV. But what we do know so far is that the Quest 3 has 110 degree of view, and the Apple, comparing it with other headsets, I want to say the Apple is anywhere between 90 to probably like 98 field of view. So the winner for FOV is definitely the Quest 3. And for gamers, when it comes to refresh rate, the Quest 3 can actually go up to 120. Meanwhile, the Vision Pro can go anywhere between 90 to 100 Hertz. So the Quest 3 wins this one. Ooh, the Quest 3 is actually making a comeback, it looks like. Now, internal batteries. The Vision Pro obviously is the one that has an external battery. There's pros and cons to this. Meanwhile, the Quest 3 has it all built in the front portion of this head unit. So all the way is directly on your face. Now, I would personally prefer the battery to be on the back like the Quest Pro was originally for a better balance, because with a wired cable like this on the Apple Vision, you can replace this without needing to take apart your VR headset. So for better longevity, I have to go with Apple Vision. And real quick, if you notice I've been using the word AR or VR headset a lot, it's because whatever marketing word Apple is trying to create or do, let's face the fact, this Apple is calling it spatial computing. In reality, it's a VR headset. You put it on your face, it has the capability to do mixed reality and virtual reality. It's a VR headset, just like the Quest 3. So I don't want to see comments down there saying it's not a VR headset. It's a VR headset. I'm not the only one that also says this. Other reviewers have been saying the same thing. Don't fall for Apple's marketing. But now, battery life. The Quest 3 has a battery life that's rated about an hour. Realistically, my real world experience, I'm able to get anywhere between 45 to maybe 55 minutes under a single charge. Apple Vision is claiming to be able to last 2.5 hours, and since the battery is swappable, Apple wins this one. Now when it comes to apps, this is day one. If I recall, my Quest 1 VR headset, when I got that on day one, the App Store was extremely limited. Now it has access to YouTube, Netflix, big screen, and much more. Meanwhile, the Vision Pro, you can find all the amazing important apps like Safari and small games here and there, but for entertainment apps, YouTube or Netflix is not on here. But you do have HBO Max as well as Disney Plus. If HBO is still calling himself HBO Max, I think they're just HBO now, but you know what I'm talking about. Now there's pros and cons to this. So as of right now, for consumers, the Quest 3 definitely does have more apps, more community support as well. So the Quest 3 wins this point. And before you argue, well, you could view videos or watch YouTube videos on Safari. Yeah, you're right. But you lose the advantages of having the Netflix app, which is downloading movies or TV shows. So you don't need a Wi-Fi connection. Same applies with YouTube. And Safari does not support VR video viewing as well. So that's why the Quest 3 wins that one. And when it comes to making virtual calls, Meta has the weird avatar things that Mark Zuckerberg was trying to promote. Not that one, but the more realistic one, which is just like a Xbox 360 avatar-like creature. Odd, weird. The Apple Vision Pro utilizes its impressive sensors, LiDAR, depth sensor, and all that good stuff with the camera, imaging, mapping, and all that stuff to create these personas. Right now, it's currently on the beta, but as of right now, this is how it looks like. So I'm leaning more towards the Oblivion gaming style avatar versus the Mark Zuckerberg avatar. So I'm giving the point to the Apple Vision, especially since it works with their first party FaceTime calling software. Controller support. Believe it or not, these two headsets do support a gaming controller and keyboard. So because of that, both of these get us a point. Now, even though the Quest 3 is mainly focused for gaming, this can be a powerful tool, especially for productivity, as you can pair this to a Windows or a Mac and have a virtual workspace that allows you to use 3 monitors. I've tried this, it works extremely well, but for content creating, it does hurt my eyes. But if I was just a journalist, typing articles, documents, this thing is fantastic. And the resolution isn't that bad either, it's pretty clear. Now, the Vision Pro has the same capability. However, it only works if you're a part of the Apple ecosystem. And it does display a massive 4K monitor of your computer and allows you to dim down the display on your Mac as well. The Quest 3 also has that ability. You could dim down the display on that device so others don't see what you're working on. But after using this, I'm limited to 1 monitor. And since I do a lot of video editing, it was hard for me to really get work done because I have it connected to another monitor. This way I have my Final Cut on one Windows and another window on the other side, so I go look through images and stuff. So for video editing, I had a hard time with the Vision Pro, and I find it much easier on the Quest 3. So the Quest 3 wins this. I want to comment on something real quick. If you are a content creator, a graphic designer, you may find the screen resolution that the OLED display can offer much clearer and more color accurate on the Vision Pro. But since this works on both Windows and Macs, that's why I'm giving it to the Quest 3. Image quality. Now this is where things get interesting. The Quest 3 still uses LCD. Meanwhile, the Apple Vision Pro is using micro OLED for both the rear and the front screen, which I'll go more in detail in a little bit. This VR headset looks beautiful when you're viewing content, especially if you're just playing a movie or watching a YouTube video. This looks super sharp. Meanwhile, the Quest 3, it looks great. I'm not saying it looks trashy, but I could definitely see the pixels on this versus the Apple Vision Pro. Because the Quest 3 has a resolution of 2064 by 2208 versus the Apple Vision has a much higher 2060 by 3040 resolution. So this is 4K and this is close to it. Apple wins this one. Now, when it comes to pass-through, both of these support color pass-through capabilities. I'm able to view my phone on both of these two headsets just fine. Here's a video example. And the latency is super responsive. I can literally catch objects. In fact, I looked at it. The Quest 3 pass-through latency is about 12 milliseconds. The Apple Vision Pro, same thing, 12 milliseconds as well. So because of that, I personally want to give the point on both of these two headsets as they have excellent pass-throughs, because I'm genuinely impressed how capable the Quest 3 pass-through mode is compared to the Apple Vision for value. but the Quest 3 gives a fisheye look in its pass-through. I know it's been tweaked multiple times from Meta, but the Vision Pro has a much better pass-through, as the morphing fisheye effects is not even there. It's that good. So Apple wins this one. Now audios. Both of these two headsets have downward facing speakers that play sound directly to your ear. The Quest 3 sounds good. No complaints here whatsoever. But the Apple is utilizing spatial audio, and it does sound noticeably better on the Apple Vision. So Apple Vision wins that one. And yes, you can connect earbuds on both these two headsets, but if you have like the latest Apple AirPods Pro, this also supports less loose audio. So Apple wins this one. Multiple use purposes. Well, clearly the Quest 3 wins this one, as it could be used as a PCVR headset. The Vision Pro does not have support for other devices to utilize its hardware. Or you could use other device hardware if you plug this into like an Apple Tower or something. So Quest 3 wins that. Traveling. The Quest 3 in pass-through mode does not support vehicle motion. In other words, if you're watching a movie and you have pass-through enabled or a video, your headset's going to glitch and the screen's just going to move away, because as soon as you start moving, its internal sensors are going to detect that and just move everything back and give you this warpy effect. The Vision Pro has this perfected to a point where you could be inside a vehicle and start moving, nothing moves out of its way. Apple perfected this, so Apple gets that point. The Quest 3, however, Meta claimed they're working on this, so stay tuned for an upcoming comparison. But as of right now, Apple clearly wins that. Camera capabilities. This is a new category I was debating to add or not, but I have to at least tell you guys. The Quest 3 cannot take photos or videos. It can do screenshots, but both of these can do that, so nobody gets a point on that. But even though there's a bunch of cameras on this headset, it does not take outside photos. The Vision Pro supports 3D video recording as well as 3D imaging, and this looks super trippy. You can literally take photos utilizing the Vision Pro and take 3D images. As the button right here can actually work as a shutter button and to capture video and photos in first person. Now Meta does have a solution to this, their Meta smart glasses. This allows you to take videos and photos, just 2D though, they're not 3D. But since the Quest 3 cannot do this, the Meta glasses don't count, I'm giving the score to the Apple Vision. The controllers. The Quest 3 is the only one that actually supports both your physical hands for hand tracking capability and touch controllers. Meanwhile, the Vision Pro only works with your hands, and it does a fantastic job on doing so. But since you have two options on the Quest 3, the Quest 3 clearly wins that one. Security systems. The Apple Vision uses optic IDs, which means you could just look at it, it scans your eyeballs, and it'll unlock. The Quest 3, you still have the old school Android pin to unlock. So Apple gets that point. So tallying up the score, unfortunately, the Apple Vision actually does win for a better all-around purpose VR headset. Now, just like to clarify something, if money wasn't involved. Because honestly, after doing this video comparison, there's one thing I learned, is that the Quest 3 has about 70% of the Apple Vision features. And this headset costs about $500. This one around $3,500. So $3,000 less for just 70% of those features. This is a good value VR headset. This is Apple's first generation, and I'm sure they're gonna make it more affordable along the line, at least I hope so, that it's easier to recommend this to other people. As of right now, this costs the same as a monthly mortgage or somebody rent for the month. It's hard to really recommend, although even though the Apple Vision did win as a great VR headset, but it's not really designed for gaming like the Quest 3 is. Although there are some games on the Vision Pro, which is kind of interesting. So yes, these VR headsets are very different. This is more for productivity / daily use. Meanwhile, the Quest 3 is mainly for gaming, a little bit of productivity, and can also be a good daily use, but not so much. So there's the comparison. Apple truly is the winner, but I feel like the Quest 3 is also the champ. And if you'd like to see more, make sure you are subscribed, as I have a lot more videos coming out on the Apple Vision as well as the Quest 3. So be sure to like and subscribe. If you'd like to watch my unboxing experience with the Apple Vision, feel free to check it out right over there. Other than that, thank you so much for watching. Take care, and I'll catch you in the next one.